Introduction. We know their names, but we often forget their true price. This section features ultra-brief stories of people who changed the course of history. Minimum time, maximum meaning. Let's begin. His name became synonymous with wealth. He was feared by competitors and hated by politicians. He created an empire with power that no other company in history has managed to replicate. John Davison Rockefeller. The first official dollar billionaire in human history. How did a boy from a poor family, whose father was a traveling salesman of questionable elixirs, manage to capture 90% of the U.S. oil market? Today, we break down the story of the wealthiest man in modern history, whose fortune, adjusted for today's value, would exceed $400 billion. Part 1, Raising a Titan. John was born in 1839 in New York State. His childhood was far from a fairy tale. His father, William Rockefeller, was rarely home, and when he returned, he bragged about how cleverly he cheated people, including his own sons. "I train them to be calculating," he used to say. However, it was his mother, the deeply religious Eliza, who instilled in John the qualities that would make him a king: iron discipline, frugality, and the belief that money is a tool given by God. At age 16, with only a 3-month accounting course behind him, John spent weeks walking through Cleveland looking for work. He received hundreds of rejections but did not give up. On September 26, 1855, he was hired as an assistant bookkeeper at Hewitt & Tuttle. He would celebrate this date for the rest of his life as more important than his own birthday.
Part 2, Oil fever. During the American Civil War, while others fought on the front lines, Rockefeller realized that the future lay not in gold or cotton, but in kerosene, which brought light to every home. In 1863, he and his partners built their first oil refinery in Cleveland. At that time, the oil business resembled a casino: chaos, wild price swings, and appalling filth. Rockefeller hated chaos, he craved order. In 1870, he founded Standard Oil. His strategy was simple and ruthless. Saving on everything, he calculated that using 39 drops of solder to seal a canister instead of 40 would save the company thousands of dollars a year. Secret deals. He negotiated secret rebates with railroad companies for transporting his oil, allowing him to stifle competitors with lower prices. Part 3, The birth of a monopoly. Rockefeller gave competitors a choice: either they sold their business to him at a good price, or he would bankrupt them. Those who refused faced a price war that Standard Oil always won. By the 1880s, John controlled 90% of U.S. oil refining. He created the world's first trust, a structure that allowed him to bypass laws and manage a vast number of companies as a single mechanism. He became the most influential person in the country. Newspapers drew cartoons of him as a giant octopus clutching the White House and the Capitol in its tentacles. Part 4, The Ultimate Test. In 1911, the U.S. government, fearing Rockefeller's power, issued a verdict: Standard Oil must be broken up. The monopoly was split into 34 independent companies, many of which we know today as ExxonMobil, Chevron, and BP. It seemed like a collapse, but Rockefeller proved to be a genius here as well. He retained shares in all the new companies. As the popularity of cars grew and the demand for gasoline skyrocketed, the value of these shares soared. It was after the breakup of his empire that John Rockefeller officially became the richest man on the planet. Part 5, Legacy and the finale. Rockefeller dedicated the second half of his life to philanthropy. He founded the University of Chicago, the Institute for Medical Research, and invested millions in fighting diseases worldwide. He dreamed of living to be 100 years old and earning $100,000. He surpassed the second goal thousands of times over, but fell just 2 years short of the first, passing away at the age of 97 in 1937. His legacy is more than just money. It is the 12 Golden Rules of Wealth and an example of how cold calculation, multiplied by fanatical faith in one's work, can change the face of an entire civilization. The 12 Rules of John D. Rockefeller. 1. Work less for others. The more you work for yourself, the faster you grow. Work, robota, comes from the word slave, rab. 2. Save money. Look for where you can buy goods cheaper or in bulk. Prepare a shopping list in advance. 3. If you have little money, you must do business. If you have no money at all, you must do business right now. 4. Do not delay. 5. The path to great wealth lies only through passive income. Create a source of profit that works for you while you sleep. 6. Think about how to earn at least $50,000 a month. You can earn more, but not less. 7. Money comes to you through other people. Be sociable. Reclusive people rarely become rich. 8. A poor environment almost always drags you down. Surround yourself with winners and optimists. 9. Poverty arises from avoiding responsibility. Don't look for excuses why you can't start right now. 10. Study the biographies and thoughts of the world's richest people. Model their success. 11. Dreams are the most important thing in your life. A person begins to die when they stop dreaming. 12. Help people. Rockefeller gave 10% of his profits to charity, a tithe. Do it from the heart. Conclusion: who was Rockefeller? A ruthless tyrant or a great benefactor? Everyone has their own answer. But one thing is undeniable: the world we live in today was built on the foundation laid by this bookkeeper from Cleveland. What do you think? Is it possible to build such an empire while remaining a good guy? Let us know in the comments.